We start. So good morning. And so yesterday you filled that form. You filled that this form?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So after this, I need all the form back. So today's topic is the method or a technique in which how we diagnose disease. So this is very important. It's very, especially in our medicine, the treatment or the diagnostic technique is such an important to discover what kind of disease, what kind of, whether the disease is Pelgam, lung, Tiba, whether the disease is lung or whether the disease is Tiba, whether the disease is Pelgam or any other kind of disease. So it's very important we have to know that the kind of technique which we use to find out the disease. So I think that all the medical systems have a different technique, but especially similarity like in the Chinese medicine, in Ayurvedic medicine, and in a Tibetan medicine, it's more like they are more close to each other. But in a Western medicine, even though they also do some, pulse and all this urine checking and all this, but mostly they depend on the machine. So this is the technique, is such a beautiful technique, which are discovered by, in an early age, by the Tibetan physician, through their long time experience. So this is very important subject also. So we will go through all these things. So I don't want to discuss much more about the pulse and urine, because you will have another chapter on that. So I will go through some important points, and then if you have any question, you can ask me. So in Tibetan medicine, it says the disease and symptom is like a smoke and fire. If there's a smoke, it's for sure there's a fire. So it's like the disease is merely like a fire and smoke. So it's important that if there is a symptom, every disease have a different kind of symptom. Lung diseases have a different kind of symptom. The Tibetan disease have a different kind of symptom, and the Pelgam disease which have a different kind of symptom. So at the end, whatever it is, the symptom is very important to discover the disease. So you have to be very careful, to discover, to treat the disease. Once you are able to diagnose the disease, then you are able to treat the disease. Otherwise, there's no chances. If you are not able to diagnose the disease, it's like throwing a stone in a dark. You close your eyes and throw the stone in everywhere, but the medicine doesn't work. But if you find out all the symptom and causation factors, then you can even you give one medicine, it works very well. Otherwise, you are always doubtful. Sometimes you feel, I think this is the liver disease, I think this is the stomach disease. Then you give so many medicines, morning for liver, evening for stomach, then nighttime for kidney. You are very much confusing. So to understand the symptom and all these causation factors are very important in our traditional medicine. So this is the study of symptom of diagnostic. Like the fire and smoke, there cannot be a smoke without a fire, or it's like there cannot be without symptom, the disease. Without fire, we can know the presence of fire from smoke we choose from it. So if we put in a disease, if there's a symptom, then there's a disease. Right? Then next is stimulus to the relationship between two and physician can diagnose the disease by the symptom manifested by it. So we asked so many questions, or what you eat last night, did you travel somewhere else, you get a sound sleep or not. This is the nothing. We are trying to find some signs and symptoms. So through that, we try to find what is the nature of the disease. So therefore, a physician who is unwise in a diagnostic method is not able to understand clearly symptom manifested by the disease. So it's very confusing. The physician who is unaware of the symptom is like who is confused with the steam and the fire smoke. Sometimes if there's a steam, we feel like there's a smoke, but it's not a smoke; it's a steam. So if you are not very much aware of all the symptoms, then it's very difficult to diagnose the disease. For example, if you are not understanding, sometimes it's very confusing. Sometimes some people have a lower back pain. People are confusing whether it is a neurological problem or it is something like related with the kidney. So you have to be very careful. You have to find out each and every symptom. You have to keep asking. If someone have a lower back pain, you can ask them. You have to go for frequent urine. You have sometimes, especially pain over here, that means it shows that you have something problem with the kidney. So this is very important. Especially it's very helpful for the physician to give a proper medication. Otherwise, these days it's very confusing, This morning you give a 1 minute drugs, and tomorrow morning you have a stomach pain. Then doctor also changed that medicine. It's very harmful for our physical body. So in our traditional, we used to say that netok men kill. It means that whatever medicine you give to the patient, it works very well. If you are very aware of all these signs and symptoms, it's very, very important. Sometimes some patient you just simply prescribe the one medicine. It can help for kidney, liver, heart, and many things. If we have a pomegranate 5, we so-called the Sindu 5, Sindu Ngamba. It is such a beautiful medicine, If you are able to find the disease, if you are able to find the sign and symptom of disease, the Sindu 5 is good for heart, Sindu 5 is good for the lung disease, Sindu 5 is good for the kidney, Sindu 5 is good for the digestion problems. So there's not necessary to give 3 times medicine. Even one single medicine can work for many organs. So like this, through this kind of way, to understand the signs and symptoms. So it's very helpful even for the physician to prescribe the medicine. So otherwise this medicine is very kind of expensive also. Some patients are not able to even for the 7 days medicine. So it's very important you have to be very careful. Mentally you have to be very calm when you check the patient. Mentally you have to be very precise. You can't neglect all these things, Sometimes it happens, especially for the young doctors, when you check the disease, sometimes your cell phone is ringing. Sometimes you have a kind of disturbing things around. So for me, whenever I check, I need a specific place to check the disease. I always prefer to have a calm place. Now, when I was in Germany, my friend is Western doctor. She asked me to check the patient in her clinic. So her clinic is kind of a very open place. There's so many loud, cars, sound and all this thing. I requested her, please find me another place. So she made me there. She put also the medicine, put the thanga. She put some flowers and she put something. It makes a sense for me to diagnose the disease. I need a time. I spend a lot of time. Sometimes I spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes for one patient to find out the symptoms. So it's very important. Sometimes we have a habit that we just simply check the pulse, then it's okay, we prescribe the disease. So sometimes some doctors have a very bad habit. Even they don't describe what kind of medicine they are prescribing for the patients. The patients are unaware of all these things. They are not coming to buy our shoes. If you are coming to buy our shoes and food is not comfortable, you can tell the shopkeeper this is not good. But patients, some are uneducated. They can't tell you what kind of disease. I used to tell, I'm giving this morning medicine for you for this kind of problem. The evening medicine is for this kind of problem. I always try to make them to understand. So it is also very helpful for them to take a medicine. So also it is like a fire describing person misunderstanding the steam of hot spring or the weapon between the summer with the smoke. So we already discussed, sometimes we are very confusing. People are very confusing. Sometimes when the people are in case of lung, like I just bring a simple example. Sometimes it's people have a lung disorders. Many people confusing lung disorder with some other disease because they are not aware of all the signs and symptoms. Sometimes, like insomnia, people who can't get sleep in the night time, it's very difficult to get sleep. Sometimes people are very confused. That's why people always keep sleeping pill. It doesn't work. It's a problem with the lung disorder. You have to treat the lung. Sleeping pill is okay for 1 day. It's okay for 2-3 days, but it's not okay for a long time. So once you treat the lung, then it's treat for the basic causes. So it's very important not to confuse the sign and symptom of every disease. So symptoms by themselves should not be completely relied upon the guide to lead the doctor to case of disease. Just as a simply gathering of cloud in the sky should not be considered an indication of rain. So we believe that we always have that if there is a cloud on the sky, we always have that maybe there will be a rainfall. But it's not necessary to have a rainfall if there is a cloud. So if there is a symptom like symptom, it's necessary to that kind of the symptom. It's not some kind of any disease. So this is very important. Don't confuse the symptom, sign and symptoms. So for this reason, it's very essential to have a proper knowledge of accurate diagnostic. So how you can get all this knowledge? Knowledge from books, knowledge from your experience, knowledge from learning from others, especially the pulse diagnostic and urine analysis. You need lots of experience. At least you have to spend almost like 3, 4, 5 years. So at that time, once you are well learned, theoretically and practically. So only the theory is not enough. So when I was teaching in Tibet Center in Austria, I taught them a pulse diagnostic. So I taught them, and after finishing my PowerPoint, I left them to their own kind of practical things. So when I go to some students, they check the pulse and they are telling me something problem with the kidney, something problem with the liver. Then I just simply tell them, you can't say within a day, to tell the people you have a specific disease. But you can tell the people whether the pulse is strong, whether the pulse is weak after all this. But you can't tell, even though the many doctors, they study for at least 10 years, 20 years, but still they are not able to diagnose the disease. Or you need to be very experienced. You have to learn a lot. So checking the pulse is seeing a person, like seeing a person. You check it, feel it, take a time, the release and then check, then release and check, release and check. Almost like in a urine also, you have to be very useful. Always you have to check it. Whenever you meet some patient, you will go for that. So our physician, Tibetan physician, always not to try rely on a machine. Sometimes also we check the blood pressure, we try to find out by checking the pulse. But we can't tell that exactly whether it is 150 or 90 like this, but we can say that you have a blood pressure by checking the pulse. So this is very important, especially for the essential for the doctors when they diagnose the disease. The accurate diagnostic is very, very important. Once you are able to diagnose accurately, then it's for sure you can prescribe medicine accurately. Otherwise, it's very confusing. Then people give a medicine like A, B, like this. Morning for stomach, evening for kidney, then liver, and all the organs in their give. Because it's nothing, they are not able to diagnose the disease. So that's why they are confusing. They are throwing a stone in a dark. If you put the stone in a dark, of course, at the one time it can hit some places. Otherwise, if you are very aware of certain symptoms, you don't need to throw so many strong. You don't need to prescribe so many medicine, you know. This is very important in order to avoid likewise to the disease symptoms.